Donald Trump has chaired his first cabinet meeting with top administration officials. Many were surprised to see Elon Musk in attendance, with the tech billionaire saying he was there for technical support. Musk was invited by Donald Trump to give an update on DOGE and to address the controversial efficiency email, which has attracted criticism this week.
I guess it was like last week, the president encouraged me via Truth Social and also via phone call to be more aggressive. And I was like, okay, yes, sir, Mr. President, we will indeed do that. The president is the commander-in-chief. I do what the president asks. And I said, can we send out an email to everyone just saying, what did you get done last week? And the president said yes, so it did that. We got a partial response. We're going to send another email. But our goal is not to be capricious or unfair. We want to give people every opportunity to send an email. And the email could simply be, what I'm working on is too sensitive or classified to describe. Like literally just, that would be sufficient. I think this is just common sense.
And what is your target number for how many workers, employees you're looking to cut total?
We wish to keep everyone who is doing a job that is essential and doing that job well. But if the job is not essential or they're not doing the job well, they obviously should not be on the public payroll.
Mr. Musk then doubled down about the email when asked a follow-up question by the media.
Mr. Musk.
Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. Musk. Are there about half of the government employees so far appear to have responded to your request for what they've been doing over the past week? Is there a timeline in place for next moves for people being fired, and when can people expect to see results of that?
Yes. Well, to be clear, I think that email perhaps was misinterpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse and two neurons? So if you have a pulse and two neurons, you can reply to an email. This is, I think not a high bar, is what I'm saying. Anyone can accomplish this. But what we are trying to get to the bottom of is we think there are a number of people on the government payroll who are dead, which is probably why they can't respond. And some people who are not real people, like they're literally fictional individuals that are collecting paychecks. Well, somebody's collecting paychecks on a fictional individual, so we're literally trying to figure out, are these people real? Are they alive? And can they write an email? Which I think is a reasonable expectation for the American public would have at least that expectation of someone in the public sector.
Mr. Musk.
Donald Trump then supported Musk, reiterating the importance of the email and saying those who don't reply will be fired.
Mr. President, can you clarify, hopefully once and for all, what your expectations are with this email to federal employees? What are you going to use that information for? And do you see it as voluntary, like OPM has said, or mandatory?
Yeah, well, it's somewhat voluntary, but it's also if you don't answer, I guess you get fired. What it really is do people exist? We have this massive government with millions of people, and nobody knows who's working for the government, who's not. So what they're doing is they're sending out a letter to everybody, and they're saying, what were the things you did last week? Mm-hmm. I guess they ask for 5. And if people are working, it's easy. I could tell you 5 things I did last week. I could tell you 5 things I did 6 weeks ago, right? If they're there and they're working, they're able to say they did 5 things during work.
Federal workers had a meltdown over the email earlier this week, with online commentators blasting the incompetence on show. Matt Walsh said, I already had a low opinion of many federal workers, but now that I've seen them all melt down and cry because they're expected to provide the faintest evidence that they're actually accomplishing anything with the taxpayer-funded jobs we've given them, I realized that my opinion of them was still somehow too high. Elon Musk then replied to Walsh saying, the email request was utterly trivial, as the standard for passing the test was to type some words and press send. Yet so many failed even that inane test, urged on in some cases by their managers. Have you ever witnessed such incompetence and contempt for how your taxes are being spent? Makes old Twitter look good. Didn't think it was possible. But not everyone was prepared to reply to the email. This federal employee had a meltdown.
Wait, hold on, y'all. Let me get myself together. I'm about to crash the out. So whereas other government agencies are really like standing up for their employees and things, my agency decides to say, "Hey, the email is legitimate. Please send 5 bullet points of what you did." You know what I'm gonna send? I did my job. That's it. I ain't sending else. Y'all are crazy.
And this employee agreed.
Nowhere in this email does it state that I will be terminated if I miss this deadline. Nowhere in this email does it state that I even have to open the email. So I will be reporting this email as phishing until my manager tells me otherwise. These people seem to think that they can operate outside of the law, outside of employment law, outside of just judiciary processes. So yeah, I don't know. Join your union, organize, talk to people in real life, find people that have similar values to you. We're so cooked.
While some government employees are throwing tantrums over sending a 5-line email, most with common sense are very confused as to what the outrage is about, seeing as replying to emails are a daily occurrence in every office around the country.
Can you clarify for federal workers who might be confused who to listen to, since Elon Musk's post is different from what OPM sent out?
I don't think it's, look, here's the reality of the situation. There's one person we're supposed to be listening to, it's President Trump, and what the American people mandated, which is what we're doing. People need to be accountable. You need to be able to answer the question. If you couldn't answer it yesterday, you have till today. But the reality is, accountability is real. I can't not show up to work every day. I have to answer to the president. And by answering to the president, I answer to the American people. It's very simple. Would you want to pay somebody to do a job and they don't show up to work? I don't think so. I could name 5 things, 5 bullets, in about 5 minutes of me coming into the office every day. If you struggle to do that for a week, there's no excuse for that. Now, you can have an extra day to answer it, but you better be able to answer it.
Musk's initiatives are being applauded by the business community, with millionaire Kevin O'Leary saying the cuts don't go far enough.
When you are in a turnaround situation, and I invest in these and have for 30 years, you go into a bankrupt organization and you cut as much as you have on the spreadsheet at the beginning, plus 20%. And why do you do that? Because you don't know what you don't know. And you want to do the cut all at once. Big, huge cuts so that you don't have a situation where every 2 weeks you're letting more people go. You want the impact to occur all at once. Then you hire back to fill in the holes of one of the mistakes you made. That's how you do it. And that's what I wish Elon was doing, because he's not. He's not cutting enough, frankly. These organizations have been growing for a long time, decades, without ever being trimmed. They're dripping with fat. And I think there's a lot more work to be done here. But this email chain thing, nobody cares. It doesn't matter. And if these employees actually aren't reading their emails, whether it's Saturday night or Monday morning, they should be fired.